Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Once again, I would like to thank everyone who has newly subscribed and all the previous supporters that I have. Thank you guys for subscribing and supporting my videos. I really do appreciate it. So please do carry on showing me your love by pressing the big thumbs up and leaving me some comments and maybe suggesting some videos I can do next for you guys. So today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how you can do something like this by using Pyro and vertex maps. So let's get straight to it. So as you can see, the setup is here. This is how it looked. I just sort of pre-rendered it for you guys so you can see as it runs a bit slow on my system or on any system, because Pyro is a bit intensive. So what you want to do is you want to start off with a text. So I'm just going to click on this box over here where it says text spline. Keep and hold the click button and go to text, which is going to create a text that is already extruded. Then what I like to do is click on this align and select it to middle, just so that it snaps to the middle. And then what we want to do is create a text. So let's use my name. Actually no, let's use just a simple hello. Now that we have this text here, I'm going to do my sort of thing of turning the work plane off. If I press NB, that will take me to ground shading lines. And the way this works is via the vertex map. And if you've watched my previous tutorials, you guys know that for a vertex map to work correctly, you do need some sort of resolution on a mesh. This is not really enough because it's only on the outer and on the inner of the text. And these are just simple faces. I don't think I'll be able to select it. If I convert it, it will break it into loads of little texts. And convert this again. Now, just for example's sake, I will show you. As you can see, that's a face, that's a face, that's a face. And in total, this will be something like, I don't know, 15 or something. There, well, there is 26. So that's not enough resolution for us to get this working. I'm just going to go back a few steps. So what we want to do is to use this feature, I believe you have to be in R27 and above. You want to click on this text, and you can do this two ways. I've got it docked up at the top, which is the remesh. What you can do is you can right click and you can type in remesh, which should bring it up. Remesh. Well, that's strange. I wonder why it's not coming up. Wow, typing it in the wrong place, that's why. Sorry guys, I'm making this video a bit late and for that reason my brain's not working because I've had a long day. So if you bring up the commander and type in remesh, it's also there. It is also in, I believe, here, which is the generators. It's gonna be here. So there it is, remesh. So you want to click, hold down Alt to make it a parent and click the remesh, which will make it a parent. As you can see, it has added some sort of resolution to it, but we need a much higher resolution. So I'm going to crank that up to about 600. Let's see what that does. So now what it's doing, it is quadding it, but because this all was already heavily quadded, it's not doing what I want it to do. So I'm just going to go to instant mesh and just mess about with this a bit and see what is going on. Let me see adaptive count. You just gotta sort of mess about with these settings. Right, okay, we've got that. What we can do, another little trick would be to make this about 200. Actually no, let's take it to about 1000. Now 1000 will give us about that much. Then what we can do is we can right click current state to object, which will break it down even further. Then what we can do is we can just stick this back into a remesh again, and let's add that to 1000 again. There we go. So by sticking it a few times into the remesher, it should fix it. Now I'm having one sort of geometry higher than the other. That's because these are individually broken down, and because they are in a null and they are individual letters, that will actually calculate the remesh on each. It might not give you the properties here of each sort of text, but it will individually calculate it. So what we want to do is we want to basically connect objects and delete, and then we want to add another remesh, which should, there we go, which should equalize it, bringing the total polys to the exact same amount, or approximately the exact same. So that's another little tip for you guys. If you run into that sort of issue, you can always do that, and that will sort of get you back to an overall poly count. Then what we want to do is we want to sort of turn it into a current state again. Delete the old mesh, and we can call this Pyro text. Oops, my caps lock is on. Pyro text. And then what we can do is we can right click, go to simulation and add Pyro, which is here, or I can use my handy toolbar, click on the Pyro, which is going to automatically create as a Pyro object, which is the Pyro output and the Pyro text. Now if you're in Cinema4D 2023.2, you will see that the Pyro output has slightly changed. You actually don't have the Pyro settings as you did before, and if you go into Pyro scene, it will look something like this. Then if you are on this tab and you click this arrow, it will bring the scene options for you. So now we're on here, we want to turn this into a ball of flame, and that's quite easy because we've put the tag on it. If we press play, oh, nothing. What has happened there? Let me just have a little tinker and see what is going on. Turn this off and on. Sometimes you can have some sort of error. Could be because I've got the previous scene open. Let me just copy and paste this into a different scene because I was testing this out earlier. Yeah, but Cinema4D is bugged out. Give me 2 seconds while I just restart it. Sorry about that, guys. It's my Cinema4D crashed, or it had some sort of I think it's OpenGL or DirectX sort of error, and it wasn't letting me play it. But quickly to go back over that, once you've got the tag on there, we'll just call this Pyro text again. Once you press play, boom, there you go. You've got epic fire. So how do we create that effect that I showed you guys on the previous sort of on that preview that I created? What you want to do is you want to click on the Pyro text and you want to click on this vertex map, because we are going to be running this via vertex map. Then what you want to do is in vertex map, we want to use fields, delete the freeze, create a linear field, and also create a random field. And in the random field, we want to go to any type of noise that you choose. I'm going to choose Stupel. And in the vertex map, I'm just going to quickly select this and make it -y. And then what we want to do is change from max to subtract. Now what this will do is, if I can highlight the vertex map, when we go actually onto the linear field, as we drag it up, we're going to get this sort of lovely fall off and break off from the vertex map, which will help. So if you're thinking press play, it's going to work, nope, it's not, because we've still got some settings we need to adjust. What I like doing is turning off some of these sort of visibility markers on these fields, because it can become distracting. So we want it to start from the bottom up. So we're going to select this linear field, press this key over here, or if you don't want to be messy, you can just click on this Y and it will only set keyframes in Y. But for this example, we can use the general keyframe button. Press play. I'd say about on the 54th frame, we want it to go fully up. Set a key again. I know this is going to be a bit hard to see at the moment, so it might be worthwhile turning off the Pyro. I believe that should, nope, that hasn't turned it off either. you can go to the Pyro tag and select enabled. That will turn off the Pyro. And when I click on the vertex map, I can see what's happening. Brilliant. So as you can see, it's sort of growing on this vertex map effect, which is quite amazing. What we can also do is we can add some animation to it to break it up even more. So if you go to random field and where it says animation speed, add it to about 3%. You only need a very little amount. Sometimes a little goes a long way. I don't think we can see it moving much, so let's try turning it up a bit. That'll do. 23% will do. That's working perfectly. And now what we want to do is we want to turn back on the Pyro field and turn back on the Pyro output. And in this tag, we want to go to the temperature field. And as where it says temperature enabled, there is also another arrow there. If we click that, we will get the temperature map. And we can stick this vertex map in there. And also if you go into density and where it says density enabled, click on this arrow and also drag in the vertex map for that. Now when we press play, we will see the flame being drawn on. Now if that is too much of the amount of flame or the type of look you're going for, you can turn down the object fidelity. That will make it a lot less. As you can see, it will also sort of decrease the voxels, which you may or may not like. On the surface thickness, if we want it to sort of be more closer to the text, we can reduce this. So let's change that to 5, which is half. It should stick to the mesh more. There we go, as you can see. If we want, we can go for about 7 and play it again. And we've got something looking like that. I know we did the reverse of that, which I will get to in just a second. Also, if you want to turn up the voxel, if you want the Pyro to be even more, if you want it to have even more resolution, you can go into this Pyro scene, click this and go to the Pyro section. And where it says voxel size, you want to move it, you want to create this into a sort of a smaller size. And that will give you more resolution. So when we go over it now, as you can see, there's a lot more resolution there. And we've got this cool little effect going. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly create a material, standard material, and just apply it to the text just for this sake, just so that it looks a bit more nicer. Let's move it to, let's give it sort of a red, just so it stands out a bit. And then as you can see, when we go through, it's going to do something like that. Now, if we want the fire to already be on and then sort of disappear, all we have to do is quite simple. We go onto this vertex map, go to basic and press invert. That will invert the map, so the fire should be on initially. And then as we go through, the fire should die off. But it won't die off all the way, and that's because of the random field that we've got on there. And I can show this if I can just turn a few of these settings off. If we go into the vertex map, as you can see, it still creates this sort of we've still got this sort of yellow and red contrast. It's removed the sort of more intensive parts of it, and it's now gone sort of a mixture between the two. If that's something that you don't want, you just want to change the blending modes that you are using here from subtract to maybe multiply, maybe not multiply, I think it's overlay. So when I press it now, yep, that should be working. So if I go into Pyro tag, turn everything back on and press play, there we have it. We've created a Pyro effect using the vertex maps, and I think I'm going to end it there. So you guys can go into these settings, choose your different forces. Before we go, I'll show you a few forces you can add. We can go to simulate. We've got loads of forces here. We can add a tractor force. which will pull everything into that sort of section. Everything will want to attract to it. I believe it works with the Pyro. I can't remember. Yeah, it does. So you can see it's sort of having this curtain pull effect with the flame. It's like going into a sort of this orb or this ball or this null that is sort of being used as an attractor, and you can use this sort of effect to pull off the fire. You can use all the other effects. You can use rotation, which will cause this vortex type. It's on the wrong angle at the moment, so we will have to rotate it by 90 degrees, which will hopefully cause like a twister effect. Probably needs a bit more power. Let's turn this up a bit, and as you can see, it's creating this sort of fireball tornado. And you can limit it using fields and everything else. We can go and choose a capsule or a cylinder field. Create it like so. Choose the size. Encompass this whole text. And then when we press it, it should stay within the text. As you can see, if you dial in these settings and tinker with it, you will be able to pretty much achieve any effect that you'd like. And that is it. So thank you very much guys for watching once again. Please do like, share and subscribe. I really do appreciate it. At the end of the day, I'm providing all these tutorials to you guys for free, so a big thumbs up will help. And if you guys can leave a comment on maybe something you guys want me to do next, I have got a few things in the pipeline that I will start to create, such as the rendering series, and I will be delving into Houdini and creating a lot of the same tutorials that I've done, but how to do it in Houdini. So please do stay tuned for that. I've just got a lot of work on at the moment, so I'm just juggling in between trying to create these tutorials. It is right now, the time is 40 minutes past 12. I should really be in bed, to be honest. I've had a long day, but I just wanted to create some content for you guys. So as always guys, I know I do repeat this, please do like, share and subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one.